Hey everybody, welcome back to the Woodscast. This is Justin doing a little bit of solo work here for a couple minutes. Shay and I are not going to record a podcast this week. I've got to travel for work, so I'm super busy this week, and then I'm going to get back and be super fucking busy next week. So we're just going to punt for a couple weeks. So in the time, I'm sure Shay is likely going to do a little bit extra brain drugs and drink his face off, which of course I'm jealous of. But our plan is to be back the week of the 29th, so we'll record a pod about all the things that are pissing us off or making us laugh then. So it's kind of sucks that we aren't going to do a pod this week because like we say in every one of these little dipshit things we record, we have a ball doing it, and we hope you guys have a ball enjoying it. So and there's going to be a lot of fun stuff that's going to pop up the next couple of weeks, but we just don't have the time. So if you want to pay attention to the shit that we would be paying attention to, you should look up the Area 51 raid. That's apparently going to happen this Friday. The event planners have canceled it because they're afraid it's going to be some big humanitarian crisis because everybody's going to be out there with no water or places to shit or anything. Imagine Fire Festival with aliens. So the promoters canceled it, but I'm sure there's still going to be dipshits that show up. There's already been 2 YouTubers. I don't know who they are, but they're probably annoying. They've already gotten arrested, so that's supposed to be Friday the 20th. So keep an eye out for that. Watch your your social media feeds and everything. In the next 2 weeks, it's about a 60-40 chance that we could be at war with Iraq. So that should be fun to talk about. I'm sorry, Iran. We should be at war with Iran. Fuck, maybe Iraq too. Who knows? So that could be fun. Between now and we come back and record another podcast, you should check out the Millennium Challenge 2002. I'll put a link for that in the show notes that I'll post onto the SoundCloud, and just look that up on the Wikipedias, and it's a little bit of an insight into why we probably shouldn't go to war with Iran, because last time we tried it, we got punked. And the other thing you should do between now and the 29th is you should go watch It Chapter 2. Last time we recorded a podcast, Shay hadn't watched it, and I had seen it, and we talked about it a little bit, but by the time we get back, I'm sure Shay will have seen it. I will probably have seen it a second or third time, because it's based off the favorite book in my entire world. So we're definitely going to do a deep dive on that. Chapter 2 is great. Like we said, it's not as good as the Chapter 1 or, It 2017. So we'll do a deep dive on that, how the 2 different chapters are different, how they're different from the book, how they're different from the 1990 miniseries that we all grew up basically scared shitless of clowns. But take some time to go see that flick between now and then. It holds up, it's solid, and it's good stuff. And last but not least, this is just kind of an idea I had today while I was kind of like shooting around the idea of recording this little video to tell you guys what was going on. Video. This is fucking audio. This is how professional we are here. Anyway, so since we're not going to bring you some content for the next 2 weeks, now Shay and I have we're under no delusions that we are professional podcasters, and we don't try to or don't really give a shit about sticking to the same kind of content schedule they have, because we all know that when we have a favorite podcast, you're kind of bummed when they miss a couple episodes because they're doing something else or traveling. So we know that this is your favorite podcast, so just to do you a little favor here, a solid, I figured I would recommend a couple podcasts you can listen to this week and next week that I enjoy the shit out of, and Shay enjoys the shit out of, that I don't know, keep you busy while you're waiting on some more hot content to drop from Tweedledee and Tweedledummer here. Still have the long pauses where I take a drink of a beer. So anyway, the first thing I would recommend would be QAnon Anonymous. That's a podcast that just basically analyzes and critiques the conspiracy theory phenomenon that is QAnon. Just recently on 9/11, QAnon had an in real life rally at the National Mall, and the authors of this podcast, Travis, Julian, and Jordan, they went undercover and just like talked to these complete morons about why the hell they're there and what's going on. So that's a good one. So QAnon Anonymous, episode 57, Undercover at the Washington, D.C. rally. That I'll put a link in that in the show notes. Also, if you are not familiar with QAnon at all, I'll throw the link to their first episode, which is like a real good Cliff's Notes about QAnon, what it is, what it encompasses, and why it's all completely horseshit. And the last one is kind of a kickoff to another podcast that Shay and I really enjoy. It's called Behind the Bastards. Robert Evans, usually just gives you a rundown on some of the people that are in power or famous these days that are complete bastards, complete shitheads. Why they're bastards, how they got there, and why you should know they're bastards. The one I'm going to throw the link in the show notes to part 1 of 3, Alex Jones, the Godfather of fake news. You guys know that I have a small obsession with Alex Jones, how full of shit he is, and how unbelievably influential he has been in mostly Republican politics, but in politics as a whole, the last, since about 2015 now, he really went up a notch. But anyway, Robert Evans has a 3-parter on, kind of his origin story, why he's full of shit, and how he's treading water right now. That'd be a good one to dip into because I don't think this particular little white nationalist hobgoblin is going to be around for much longer. I think the Sandhook parents are gonna take him apart and turn him inside out eventually. So hop off that, hop on with that part 1's 3-parter, and then of course you can look through Behind the Bastards catalog and find a lot of people that you love to hate. So I'll throw those links in the show notes. But yeah, like I said, no podcast today. This week, no podcast next week. We'll try to hop back on it on the week of the 29th, and Hail Hydra.